In Unit 2, we deal with industrialization and imperialism. Here is an overview. Unit 2, Industrialization and Imperialism, consists of 9 content lessons beginning in the 1800s industrialization era and ending in the 1920s with World War I. We'll use 6 skills and strategies. Number 1, focused note-taking, as always. Number 2, strategic reading and annotation. We'll use various graphic organizers throughout this unit. We'll begin to explore gallery walks. We will think like a historian. And lastly, we'll begin conducting research and citation practice on our term paper. There will be 2 exams, 2 major projects, and at the end, time permitting, we'll watch a film about industrialization. Lesson 1 will focus on industrialization. We'll try to answer the questions: what is industrialization? When did it occur? What inventions fueled the Industrial Revolution in America? How did it transform America? And what were the lasting effects on society and the American economy? Lesson 2 will deal with the Transcontinental Railroad. We'll explore when it was built, why it was built, and how was it built. We'll focus a lot on who built it and where it was built, and how did it transform the landscape of America, and what were the lasting effects on society. Lesson 3 will deal with immigration. We'll understand who was coming to America, why they were leaving their home country, where were they settling when they got to America, how did it transform the landscape of America, and what were the lasting effects on society. We will have our first major project of Unit 2 dealing with immigration. Lesson 4 will begin our study on urbanization. Specifically, what fueled the development of large urban city centers, what were the effects of these migration patterns, and how were the living conditions in the cities. Lesson 5 will begin our exploration of capitalism. What inspired America's emergence as a leader in the rise of capitalism? How did the inventions of the Industrial Revolution lead to capitalism? What role did the government play in the rise of capitalism? And who benefits the most and the least from a capitalist society? Lesson 6 deals with labor reform. We'll examine how were the working conditions prior to labor reform. Was the labor reform movement successful? And how did the working conditions change as a result of the movement? Lesson 7 will examine the Spanish-American War. When did it occur? What caused it? And what lasting effect did it have on international relations? Lastly, we'll examine how the Spanish-American War contributed to American imperialism. Lesson 8 deals with imperialism itself. We'll want to understand what exactly is imperialism. What drove the United States to become an imperial power? What were the major factors that contributed to the growth of American imperialism? And how did the acquisition of Alaska and Hawaii play a role in an American imperialism? Lesson 9 concludes our Unit 2 studies and will focus on World War I. We'll want to examine what started the war, what countries were involved, why was it considered the Great War, what led the United States to join in World War I, and how did the war effort affect Americans back home? The assessments and projects in Unit 2 We will have a mid-unit quiz covering lessons 1 through 5, an end-unit test covering lessons 1 through 9. We will have an invention/inventor project, which will be a gallery walk where we'll have a graphic organizer and record information at various stations around the classroom. Your large project for Unit 2 is an immigration project where, with the background knowledge supplied by in-class lecture, you will work in table groups of 4 to 5 students to fully examine the immigration patterns from a set of people predetermined. You will gather the information, record the information, and present the information to the rest of your class via another gallery walk around the room. We'll also continue our term paper. Throughout Unit 2, we will have times where we will conduct research into our chosen topic, and we will learn how to properly cite the sources that we are compiling. Lastly, we'll end Unit 2 with a film from the America, the Story of Us collection. This will be a great opportunity for anybody who needs to make up any missing work or to score some extra credit points by viewing the film and writing a small review. Right, let's get to work.